Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Rassel.
And I'm KTP, as also known as Kenneth.
Alright, and we are Velocity Squared. How you doing, Russell?
I'm doing all right.
Alright.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Kenneth, we miss you.
We
We're both saving you for last.
because you're the best.
Saving the best for last.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
You are
Famous
the best.
last words.
So, how's how's Florida doing?
Florida's Florida. It's the summer was hot. Definitely not the right time to move down here, but other than that, it's just been kind of quiet.
Yeah.
Been working on as much as I could with parkour as I can, but it's hard to when I don't have anything to use.
Alright. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been pretty good, I guess. And
Here in Colorado, we're experiencing weather difficulties.
Weather
monsoon.
difficulties.
Lots of rain. It's a little more of a challenge. We're just kind of scoping out some stuff for videos later on, maybe.
Well, have you ever
Mhm.
thought of training in the rain?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I know I had to do that
It's
once
been-
in my training classes I took a while back. They actually wet the rails that we were indoors, and they wet the rails so we can practice with rainy
nice.
conditions. So
Nice.
think of doing that sometime.
Yeah.
Faux show.
It's a challenge and it's also dangerous. So
Yeah.
wear your
Yeah.
helmets, kids. Not.
Alright.
Sweet. Well, anyways, our goal of this podcast is to enlighten those who want to be informed, to inform those who need encouragement, and to encourage those who are already engaging in the art of movement. This is parkour.
It's very good. Is there any news for this week?
As far as news in parkour world, as our sector of Colorado, we've got a few things going on. We've got the urban acrobatics competitions going on. Their second anniversary competition. That's on Saturday at 4 p.m. Admissions is $30 on the day of. If you can get to it I think pre-paying is already over. But that would have been $25. You just show up, you pay $30, you can go in. They've got 4 qualifier rounds, wall qualifier rounds, bar qualifiers, semifinals, and then finals.
Might want to tell where that's at.
Yeah, urban acrobatics is important in Denver area.
Yeah.
So.
We go there every so often, and it is a pretty good place to train.
If you decide to go, first place gets 200 cash prize and a sponsor prize pack.
That's
Second place gets $100 cash prize and also a sponsored prize pack. Third place is just the sponsored prize pack. So
Yeah.
pretty neat. That'd be pretty awesome to get to do. We personally aren't going. We're probably going to be busy that day. It's just kind of busy weekend for us.
Yeah, it won't quite work out. Maybe some recording if we have some free time. That's about it.
Yeah.
Other than that, don't really have too much else. I guess we could talk about real quick as far as old news, but just a quick update on how Heaven Fest went. It was back in August, but what was your experience of it? How do you feel?
It was awesome. It's kind of surreal, just kind of hearing our team name over big speakers on stage, and we were like halfway to stars, because we were we were performing as a parkour performance,
Yes.
but it was background with the after party. It was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people, and we got to give out our cards, as well as support Transform DJs.
They were
amazing.
the headline we were performing with. We were
Nice.
kind of just like the props. They were the whole shebang.
They drew in the crowd. We got a lot of good reports back from
Yeah.
that.
But yeah, it was definitely an amazing experience. It's definitely the biggest thing we've done so far. We even got some possible offers from some other people that would like to use our I guess you could call it skills,
Yeah.
whatever that is.
Very specific set of skills.
Yeah. Just just parkour for me. There's like something about a music video, a very, very like underground band kind of thing. But yeah, just some really small stuff like that. But I mean, that's kind of where that kind of led us. It was again very great experience. Super thankful for it, and maybe we'll collab more in the future. But yeah, that was kind of what went down for Heaven Fest. There's a lot more, but that's just kind of the rundown of it.
Well, that's awesome. Do you guys plan on, or I guess, do we plan on being there next year?
I don't know.
Depend on Transform or whatever groups wanted to do us. If they are performing there again, maybe.
Yeah, if it's a kind of up to Heaven Fest.
Fair enough.
If they want Transform back, I assume by the response they got there this year, because this is the first time Heaven Fest has been back since like
3 years ago or so.
Yeah, it's been like about 3 years or so.
Really? Wow, I actually didn't even know that.
So it was kind of just like remastered how they did the festival and everything, but from the response Transform got, I would say it's a good possibility.
Okay,
sure.
That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much how Heaven Fest went this year. It was definitely fun, and I hope we can go back next year. And I hope you can be there with us, Ken.
In theory, I should
sure.
be. I apologize if there was anyone who was actually looking forward to seeing me. Don't know if you know.
Everyone was just missing.
Everyone
That's
was
what
just miserable.
They came for me, they didn't get me, right?
Yeah.
No.
They were all disappointed when they saw me. Like, oh,
where's the cool guy? Like, jeez. So we'll be talking about parkour, free running, and tracing, breaking those all down, and saying basically what each one is individually. That's what the topic of today
Primarily
will be.
what their differences are between each
Right.
other.
Yeah.
Some people
Right.
get them mixed up, and that's
Yes, and
not exactly right.
some don't even know exactly what it is.
True.
So that's kind of what we'll be talking about. So I guess first we'll just talk about parkour.
Parkour, by definition, is obviously getting from point A to point B in the most efficient way possible. So that's the basis of what most training is based on. You gotta try to find the quickest way to get over this obstacle, to interact with your environment, and get where you need to go in the quickest way possible.
Right.
So what that is for us, typically, since we don't have a lot to work with here in our area, so we just kind of we find a good spot that has the obstacles that we would need to overcome, and we work on different ways to overcome those obstacles. Just make it quick, make it flow nicely. So in the event that we ever need to use that, we've got it ready.
Yep.
When I was in training, what my instructor told me, I asked, like, what are some good places to go do parkour? Obviously, he said a few the places that have like a lot of items, but then he said you can do parkour in almost any place you see. It's just you have to train, and then eventually you'll develop something called parkour vision. And that is when you look at an obstacle or a set of obstacles and you just think of all the moves that you know and any way that you can get over it and transition into the next with good fluid movement, and that's when you know you have parkour vision. And that's always the thing that stood out to me, is knowing what parkour is.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely not what people think. Usually, if you say parkour to someone, typically, and it's not because they're like, oh yeah, I know what it is. It's just like they heard of it. It's kind of just like what media has said.
Exactly.
Because they've watched Ninja Warrior and
Yes.
they said, "Oh, this is a parkour athlete," but they don't really tell you anything about it.
Yeah.
When I always am talking to someone about parkour. Like I say, usually it comes up in topic like athletic or just an overall build and fitness. I say, well, or sports. I say, well, I do parkour. Do you know what that is? And if they usually say yes, I say, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
But if they don't, the only way I can usually get them to know what it is either Ninja Warrior ish stuff, or I say those guys who jump off roofs.
Yeah. Yep.
That is what I have to say for them to understand. So that's the common misunderstanding. That doesn't mean we don't jump from roof to roof or jump off roofs.
Right.
Not gonna put that aside, but
Right.
it's not all there is to it.
No.
You know what I mean?
It's definitely, instead of being like a sport, I mean, it's as much of a sport as, I don't know. It's just, it's a lifestyle. You know, it's like,
It's a
yeah, I mean,
discipline. It's like
yeah.
karate or martial arts or the better ones. I don't know which one is good or not.
Taekwondo,
Yeah.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, all those, like
Yes.
martial arts, all that
I was
stuff.
always told
Alright.
it's a discipline.
Sorry.
I'm still learning on what that is exactly, but
Yep.
but I guess that's just part of the experience.
Yeah, but definitely, it's just like when you do parkour in front of someone, they're like, "Whoa, what is that?" You know, and it's like
People
Oh,
say
man.
ninja. It's ninja.
it's a ninja, you know.
Yeah.
Like, so I watch TV and I just did it. No. Definitely some training behind all
Lots
that.
of training.
Lots of training. But definitely, parkour is definitely a lifestyle. It's not. You don't keep points. You don't. You know.
You don't worry about getting the attention. Typically, if you're a true tracer, you're not going to be just doing something and saying, "Here, look at me, look at me." You're saying,
Right.
"No, I do this for myself. I do this because."
Exactly. I
That's
think we
how I
covered
live.
some of that in one of our other podcasts, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely parkour is amazing. It's definitely a way to keep fit and to help you grow as a person.
And to get to know people who have similar interests. I mean, almost anyone who does parkour is going to be one of the most friendly people you're going to meet.
Oh yeah.
They're going to try to help you out in something you might be struggling with, or they'll, seek advice from you if they see you doing something that they've been trying to do. And you're going to be willing to help them because that's just kind of who we are as fellow tracers.
And since I've noticed that that parkour has become so big in the late years, I'd say since the 2010 era, that it's become very popular on the social media
Oh
and
yeah.
YouTube. That's pretty much how I got into it, was through YouTube. So there's so many people that are famous just because they do parkour and tricking and freerunning, and they upload videos or
Right.
they have blogs. That's how they got so popular.
Exactly.
And it's just a tool now.
Oh yeah.
Then people recognize that, like Red Bull goes in and says, "Oh, we're going to sponsor you for that because it's
And then
pretty
money
cool."
is to be made.
Yeah.
And it's like people can make a living off of something like this. It's just become another fad, I guess, that got big and it has a great community, and people can actually make a living off of it to teach others and to just make tutorials.
Right.
And
Yeah.
just like you guys said, it's a lifestyle in many other ways than just what you first think of when you hear lifestyle.
But yeah, for sure. So that I would say that kind of sums up what parkour is.
Yeah. If that's possible.
No. You have to
It's very-
experience it.
It's
Yeah.
very simple.
Don't take our
Just
word for it.
Go out and do it.
Do it yourself.
But be careful.
Yeah.
Yep. Do
Do it safely.
Do it
Know
to
your
your-
limits. All that stuff.
definitely don't want to
Progress.
Mm-hmm.
don't want to try something you're not prepared for, like jumping off a building. or
Don't just
something.
even though YouTube is a great tool for learning stuff, doesn't mean you should just watch something and go try it like I almost did one time and hurt myself. So take it from my experience, and I'm sure you guys have had some kind of experience with that before too.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
progression is the key.
For sure. So now I guess we'll talk a little bit about free running. What is free running to you, Ken? Like,
Well,
what do you describe it?
I had taken a specific class for this, and the way I see it is it's almost exactly what the opposite of parkour is. It's actually that again, it's also related. Like
Right.
they go hand in hand, but also they're very different. Like free running, well, the very easy way to describe it is that it's more flashy. Parkour may be flashy as it is, but free running is even more flashy. It's a lot more like, I know we're gonna talk about it in a minute, but it's like tricking and parkour combined. That's why I love it so, is because it combines two worlds that are so awesome. You have the fluid flow and the movement, I'd say, of parkour, but with the tricks and style of tricking. Like I've seen some videos of competitions of guys doing wicked flips from one structure to another off of this one, and then they do one flip into another, off of a structure onto another, grabbing a bar. It's phenomenal. It's beautiful, and it's definitely something to be watched. That's how I've always viewed it. Is it's so much more like amazing to watch. It's like a show. It's like a circus.
It's the intention. It's the attention getter of
Yes.
parkour, like
Yes.
aspects of parkour.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically, it's just you're just throwing in basically unnecessary stuff, but it's not a bad thing that they're unnecessary.
No.
Because it looks good.
Yeah, unlike parkour, where your point is to get from point A to point B in the most efficiently, smooth way as possible. Free running, you just kind of you get to your point, if there is one, and you just kind of do your thing, throw some fancy stuff in there.
You do it for style more
Yeah,
than
that's
anything.
literally what it is.
Yep.
It's a like, parkour is a lifestyle, and free running's also a lifestyle, but it's a little bit more of a style. That's kind of how I see it.
It's style,
But
which definitely
it may
is not a
be
bad thing.
it may be a little inferior to parkour to some. Like, I could see how some people would think that, but it is just so fun. Especially if you have a gymnastics background. Then I know a lot of people who are tumblers and gymnastic people or whatever, cheer squad, and gym. I can't think of the word right now, but they moved on to free running because they could relate to it so well, and they already have all the tricks down. So all they have to learn is the fluid movement from obstacle to obstacle, and just throw a few flips in here and there. Not saying that's all it is, but at least it's easy for them to get it, you know.
Right. Yeah, definitely. It is definitely fun to do. There's some amazing athletes that do it, and it takes just as much time and commitment to that as parkour, I would say. Because you're throwing some insane things, and if you don't know what you're doing, you could hurt yourself, if not that, more.
The flips are dangerous. They are so dangerous. I've never really been too seriously. I've never been seriously injured doing parkour, but the times I got a little close, we're always doing flips. So you always want to make sure that you are well educated and you practice on soft material first before you go ahead and go step on the concrete.
Yep, definitely.
And do things off of things.
Yeah. Between buildings, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And again, that's another thing that people don't really know the difference between. So basically, to sum it all up, parkour is A to B, smooth and efficiently, nothing fancy. Free running is
Fancy.
Throwing tricks in.
Like I said, it's
It is
almost
something
the
fancy.
exact opposite, but then again, it's not.
Yeah.
Just throwing fancy tricks.
And tricking in itself, if we want to move on to that subject, tricking is where you put all of your energy into those flips and you don't worry about the getting point A to point B.
Yep.
It's more of just what you're going to do in the gym, whether it's martial art tricking, gymnast tricking, the gymnasts that go to the Olympics and stuff. They're obviously getting a lot of attention as well as making money from it.
Oh yeah.
Getting gold medals and all that. So you do get a lot of recognition through just tricking, without throwing it into parkour and doing free running with it.
Definitely.
Yeah, tricking is it's exactly what it sounds like. It's exactly what it is. It's tricking.
Yeah.
You
It's
do
doing
tricks.
tricks.
And it's like I could see a lot of people would see someone tricking and say, "Oh, he's breakdancing."
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
there's definitely some similarities. there.
Those definitely can go hand in hand. There's a lot of these things we talk about with parkour, freerunning, tricking, even the other stuff that's really not of what our experience is. I have a little bit, but like tumbling and gymnastics and stuff, those all are similar. And then breakdancing comes in. Like I even almost took a class one time that was tumbling, breakdancing, tricking. And I thought it'd be pretty cool. I don't know why I didn't take it, but it's there. They're out there. But tricking is definitely YouTube friendly, may I say.
Yeah.
So if
yeah.
you don't understand what we're saying, you can definitely find that stuff way more easily on YouTube than for parkour stuff, because it's more like centralized, I'd say, because you don't need a park, like a nice park with some good structures to go in and do tricking. You just need a floor and some room.
Yeah. It's basically
If you've got some training. If you don't, then you might want to have some pads and maybe a springboard floor. Maybe some people prefer a springboard floor only. Some people go to gyms to do it only. Some people prefer it on the grass. Some people mix it up. But that's how I see it. It's way more centralized, or like it's stationary.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
can it's just you go in your backyard and do it, which is why I wish I could do it a little bit more, because then I don't have to leave my house.
You definitely are more of the tricker, I would assume, of the team.
Oh really?
Like Rassel has some. I'm definitely not there.
Really?
Previous injuries. You have a little more momentum behind your stuff. I can't get that momentum.
Yeah, but I can't control it very well.
No,
The tricking aspect. Like, okay, whatever.
But yeah, tricking is definitely
And
awesome.
just so we can give everyone an example, like name off a few moves that are tricking that we know offhand. Like I know the J step or the cork
the
is
cork.
definitely tricking, which is one we've all been working on.
You can add B twist in there.
B twist is totally
Anything
tricking.
that's twisting is just like
just a need.
yeah.
Doubles.
Yeah, that's definitely all parts of tricking. Back fulls. You can do a freaking standing back full.
Yep.
And
That's why another set of people can come in doing tricking again with the like the cheer squad individuals, the more advanced ones, the gymnasts. That's the word I was trying to find earlier. God. They're good at picking that up quick because they've already got like that basic understanding of that stuff.
Yeah,
And it's even easier for
definitely.
tricking because they don't have to worry about the going over obstacles. They can just start learning it there. Or like I even find that some people who do martial arts can come into it quickly because a lot of them use the same moves, like the B twist. I've seen a lot. And
or the corkscrew, that 540 kick.
Yes.
Right into a Webster.
Yeah.
Another Webster.
Not that would do you any good in a fight.
Oh no.
No. But they can
it's
just
cool.
they can come to it a lot
Yeah, they
easier
figure it out.
if they want to start that kind of training. They already have a basic understanding of what they need to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
They also use like the scoop. Also,
Mm-hmm.
come
Yes.
from scoop position into a cork. Sometimes into another cork.
Or they'll throw a double, which is highly unnecessary, but it's
Typically-
gonna be cool.
Typically, just like they end it with like an insane double, triple, something.
Yeah.
Twist, flip, just anything like ridiculous, and it shows off just like how big their trick is at the end.
A lot of the crazy fancy names I find are usually tricking.
Yeah.
May I say?
Definitely. Yeah, you don't get a whole lot of recognition just for doing parkour because it's not as flashy. People don't really want to watch it.
Yeah.
But it is definitely one of those things that is obviously very important if you're in need of it. So it's more geared toward that lifestyle. You're not looking for the attention like I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, like I find the
It's-
parkour guys are like so much more humble about what they do. Like that's just my view on it. Is they're so much more humble, and the free runner guys are a little like, yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Not that everyone's like that. It's just from what I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And trickers, I honestly don't know too many trickers besides us, even though
I don't either, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is Jason at Urban Acrobatics, the place we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
is
yeah.
He's an amazing tricker.
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Donnie at Apex. He's also
He's insane.
he's insane. You can get some air.
Yeah.
Do some crazy twists.
Oh yeah, yeah. That guy is
Yeah.
crazy cool.
Yeah.
And there's people like Jake Smith who get,
Yeah.
recognition. we
Yeah,
put with
those
them,
guys are just like all over good of these three topics.
Yeah.
For more example of a more popular guy, there's Damian Walters.
Yeah.
He is definitely a trigger. Epic Mendoza. He
Yeah,
is amazing.
yeah.
Like,
He's-
if you want tutorials, he's
Yeah.
one of the best guys to go to.
Yeah,
for
I was-
tutorials.
I was gonna bring up his name, but I spaced it. But yeah, he's definitely the guy on YouTube for a lot of tutorials. He does
Yeah.
everything.
He does everything: parkour, freerunning, tricking, all that.
I think
good
he even
stuff.
does martial arts and stuff like that too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Possibly some breakdancing stuff.
And
He
it all
gives a
goes
lot of
hand in
good-
hand, so you can
Yeah.
you could always benefit from learning something or another.
Yeah, he'll give you advice on how to, get more momentum going towards an obstacle or something,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is obviously parkour. But he'll turn around and he'll teach you how to do a certain combo that he's been working on, and it's just
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, he's like totally all about all the combos. That's a lot of the
Yeah.
videos I've just randomly decided, oh, I'm gonna watch some Kyle Epic Mimosa or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's a combo video, and it's like,
Mhm.
oh man, I know I can't do this, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch it anyway. Usually I just watch if I know I can't do it. I usually just watch him do it because it's just, oh my god, it's just
Yeah.
so fantastic.
Mhm.
Just watching him, he was like, oh.
It's like that's
And
what
then you
that
start
name is.
realizing some of those moves are actually, you're like, well, I might be able to work up to that, and you
Yeah.
put them together, and you're like, hey, that wasn't as hard as I thought.
Right.
And he's usually
That's-
good at saying at what level that the trick or tricks that he's doing are good for. You know,
Yeah.
if you're new, he might say maybe try something else.
Yeah. He usually,
Not in those exact words though.
Yeah.
Usually he'll he will show we were talking about him a lot. That's cool.
Yeah.
He
We'll tag him in it.
usually usually what will happen is he'll say it's something like the back full. He'll be like, all right, so if you haven't gotten your back flip, look at this video first, and if you haven't figured out how to twist properly, like a B twist or something, then check out this or something like that, for example. But he makes sure you're at a level where it's possible
You can
for
attempt
you to do
it and not kill yourself.
Exactly.
Land
Yeah,
on your
yeah.
neck sideways. And...
which is awesome.
Which is awesome.
Very awesome.
Jeremiah.
It's very epic.
Ha 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 ha, you're funny.
To just kind of wrap up this little subject, the one thing I'd like to say about it is with all of these, no matter whether it be parkour, freerunning, or tricking, there's one thing that I've seen for the most part with all three is that the nice thing is that you can work at your own level with all these, and you don't have to be pushed to do it a certain way, or you have to be their certain way, like me. You have your own style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anyone tells you any different, then
They can talk to us.
exactly. No.
Just kidding.
Because I've had people have a preference, and usually they were not primarily free runners, trickers, or tracers.
Right.
They were from another one. Not gonna say
Okay.
they're all like that, but it's just you gotta understand you, and if something feels better to you, and as long as you know that you're doing the trick that you want to do, then great. Like for example, like the tucking, the forms of tucking. People say tuck on your shins, grab your shins, or some people say
Yeah.
underneath your legs.
Yeah.
Everybody has
Either
a
way,
preference.
it works. But,
Yes.
you know, it
As
But-
long
depends
as
on
you get around to and land, you're doing it. That's
Yep.
what we say, anyways.
Mhm.
Yep, exactly. It's all your own thing that you make up. Almost. As long as you do the
That's-
trick, I guess, is what I
mean-
would say. Is the one ground that you gotta make sure you get.
Right.
The rest
I
is
mean,
up to you.
look at it this way. If everyone was doing the same thing, the same exact way, how original would your style be?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that and
Yeah.
how would anyone come up with some certain tricks? I'm sure that one of the hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of tricks that are out there, someone was just like, they just do one trick they know and they do it different. And they're like, I'm gonna name that the Screaming Banshee or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it the Lincoln. But yeah, I mean, it's just you do you, man. You gotta do your own thing. You can't let anyone tell you like, oh no, man, you're doing it wrong.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's not.
Unless
It's
you
not-
are actually doing it wrong and you could hurt yourself.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a point.
Yeah.
But for the most part, if you're succeeding with your stuff and someone's telling you you're doing it wrong,
Yeah.
they're wrong because they're
You're
trying-
obviously being successful with it.
yeah,
Exactly.
Don't fix something if it ain't broke, right?
exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Bottom line, that right there, that sums it all up.
Yeah.
Don't fix it if it ain't broke.
So yeah,
Perfect.
other than that, sorry. Other than that, I would say just go at your own limit. You know, don't push yourself.
Push the limits, but don't push them to the point of breaking. You know, you're not
True.
gonna hurt yourself, but you push yourself to be better.
Right.
Obviously, every day you're striving to be better than you were yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's something you have practiced at the gym, and you can get it down like every time, for example, and you go outside, and it's just as easy, then do it. Otherwise, if it's something that's unfamiliar to you, and you haven't even really tried it at the gym, but you're like, oh, it's kind of the same distance. I mean, I'm not saying that there's people that have been able to do that, because there's definitely people who are like that amazing that they can do that. But
And
for
some
the most
people,
part-
it's just that you can like for me, like let's compare something for you, Jeremiah, and me. Like you picked up your backflip a lot faster than I did. It took me so long to actually work up the confidence to do it, and I think we were at a trampoline park one day and you got it, and then we worked it to the ground and you got it. It took me several spotting attempts on the ground, and then finally just landing on my knees a few times, and then I got it.
Right.
And then for me, I picked up my side flip in a week
oh man, dude,
or something like that.
Yeah.
That is my specialty, as all of you know. That is what I do best, and
true.
it's just some people pick things up faster than others for certain
Yeah.
things too.
Yep.
So that's
And so
definitely
you-
how I see it.
You definitely have to take that into context, because if you keep feeling down like that, you know, you're not going to progress at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to keep doing different things, and you'll find that you're possibly better at something than someone else. And then I know for me, it's pushed me further, knowing that I'm like, oh, okay, I can pull this off, you know, and I make that my main focus. I don't leave anything else out, but I make that my main focus, say that that's my specialty, and that's my style, you know?
Yep.
So,
True
but
that.
yeah. So with that, I'd like to thank you for joining the podcast. So how this podcast is going to work from here on out is...
We're gonna try to do a different subject every week for a month. So we're gonna have most months have about 4 weeks. We'll do Say we'll start with conditioning for the first week of the month, and you'll go to community or the history of parkour, free running, how that all ties in together. Parkour in the media, so like video games and movies, TV shows, how it's kind of making its uprising in today,
Right.
because we have access to all this knowledge, all this stuff in the information age that we live in.
Yeah.
And then just kind of, we're probably going to be touching on our personal preferences, as far as like training methods, music.
Answering some questions if you guys have any.
Yeah, we've gotten quite a few questions, just good results that we've gotten from people we've posted on like Facebook.
Do we want to answer any now, or was that for another day?
I think we should save it
Yeah, definitely
Okay.
for another day.
next time. But definitely, that's how it's going to work from here on. Again, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate the support. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud. That's where this podcast is going, by the way.
YouTube,
and YouTube,
definitely.
of course.
We've got our
Of course,
videos.
YouTube.
Of course.
They're not huge, but we're working on some more. Definitely.
2 new videos and more podcasts. So yeah, I guess we're signing off. Again, I'm Jeremiah.
And I'm Rassel.
And I'm Kenneth, and we will see you in the future.